Greetings from Israel. This is Jerusalem Jane coming to you here at 10:30 at night. I just made a live video on my Facebook page, Israel One Nation, giving an update about the 1,800, yes, you heard me right, 1,800 rockets have been fired into Israel in less than 48 hours. Last night, there was some horrific news. A rocket had a direct hit in a house and a young boy, only 6 years old, were killed. 6 years old were killed. A total of 7 Israelis have now been killed from rocket fire from the terrorists inside the Gaza Strip. Israel has been taking out terror sites, killing more than 100 terrorists from Hamas and Islamic Jihad. They know exactly who they are, they know their names, they know what rank they have, they know what they are doing, what role they are playing, and most importantly, they know exactly where they are. When Hamas and Islamic Jihad are firing hundreds, now 1,800 rockets into Israel in order to try and kill as many civilians as possible, Israel is targeted the terrorists and Israel is targeted the terror sites. That is the difference. That is what you always need to remember. When it's being said that 50 or 60 people have died inside the Gaza Strip, more than half are always terrorists. The Israeli army right now is having discussion whether to go in by ground troops to Gaza. I just heard now that 16,000 soldiers have been called up from the reserve duty, and most likely the IDF is going to recommend a ground operation. If they do, that's going to be handed into the security cabinet, and then they have to vote and make the decision. And then when the IDF sees it's fit, there will be another ground invasion in the Gaza Strip. This is always something Israel is trying to avoid because it's going to be messy, it's going to be bloody, it's unknown territory when you are sending Israeli soldiers into Gaza. On the other hand, no nation would put up with what Israel has been put up with. 1,800 rockets flying in from Gaza to kill as many civilians as possible. And you need to remember, yes, this is massive, but we have many hundreds of rockets flying into Israel over the years, for many years now. No other nation would put up with this. There comes a time where Israel is saying enough is enough. We need to protect our people, and we are at that time. Of course, I will keep you updated about that. On top of that, we have seen horrific riots and lynching of Jewish people. I was just speaking about it, mentioning some of the attacks that has happened. Jewish people out driving in their cars, being stoned in their cars, being pulled out of their car, viciously beaten. The cars are being set on fire. Today, a young Jewish boy was on his way to pray at the synagogue, and he was stabbed on the street by an Arab terrorist. Video surveillance was showing Arab terrorists was going down to a parking garage, setting fires to the cars, knowing very well that many Israeli families was living upstairs, and they all had to be evacuated to the hospital for all the smoke inhalation, just for Arabs who wanted to murder Jews. It has been time and time again. We just had now a 19-year-old who was savagely beaten in the street, and he is now in critical condition. A father of 4 was savagely beaten, last night in the streets. He is now in critical condition. A man was shot in the leg, also literally only 2 hours ago. These are Arab violent riots, literally a lynch mob who is out on the street in numerous cities here in Israel. I bet you don't hear about that in mainstream media, and now 3 rockets were fired from Lebanon. So everything is very tense. My phone goes on all the time with the red alert. If you have that app on your phone, you will know how bad it is here in Israel. So still, rocket after rocket after rocket are coming in. It's going to be nothing but There's not going to be a quiet night here at all. They are firing towards Ben Gurion Airport. The outgoing flight has been cancelled, and then they were sent to the Ramon Airport down by Tel Aviv. So what did Hamas do? They were threatening airlines, saying, if you are sending planes here to Israel, we're going to shoot them down. And they were shooting at Ramon Airport down by Eilat. So now that is also closed for outgoing flights. So right now, no flights are coming in to Israel. Many airlines in Europe and in America has now cancelled all flights here to Israel. So this is just Jerusalem Jane giving an update on some of the things that is happening here. The list of terror attacks also against our soldiers, the vicious beating and attack on the Jewish people is too long for me to even mention all of them. So thank you for standing in the gap for Israel for such a time as this. Pray for the Israeli Defense Forces, the watchmen on the wall, our guardians who is putting their life on the line 24/7. We honor you, we salute you, and we love you. And for all of you around the world, thank you for standing in the gap for Israel for such a time as this. Bye.